Great, thank you so much. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. And my name is Kang, and I have been helping students to become better learner using GeniusBrain system since year 2003. So today is my 17 years of using this system in Ipoh. Yeah, and I've actually helped. To date, there are about 1,000 over students I've helped, and the last one was studies program with primary school last year in Ipoh also. All right. As you have how many of you have joined us in this e-school live session? I remember Shafina's, yeah, Dorcas, right? And how many of you? This is your first time having this GeniusBrain Super Learning Program, or we call this Advanced Learning Strategy. Some of you have attended this program before. All right, we have actually handpicked a few programs that is definitely a must-have for students. All right, now for you to explain to some of the parents, usually we start off. I mean, in our live in-person class, I do have a learning center in Ipoh. So as parents walk in, we will ask what are your concerns with your children, and what is the stuff that you're looking for. And a lot of times is that the parents wanted their children to be improved in their studies and academic result. So over here, yes, we have actually seen and students who come in with not so good result, but after going through the GeniusBrain Super Learning Program for like 3 to 6 months, we can actually see improvement from them. In fact, many students who before they enroll this program, before they join this program, they have actually having this challenge. They've been studying very, very hard, but not seeing the result. That means when they go for exam, the result comes back, it still remain the same. But after having attended the program, and they realize that study is actually easy once you understand the actual method. So in this e-school advanced learning strategy, we have divided them into a few main programs. Like for the first one will be proven brain recall system. Now, proven brain recall system is about teaching them some of the formulas to do revision. Now, the first part will be find out how many things you can remember. Now, during our class, when I start this year, I will ask the student, how many of you do revision at home? So mostly everyone, they say they do that. They raise up their hand, they do revision at home. Then my next question will be, how many hours you spend doing revision? Okay, some will say 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and the most I heard of will be they say they study for 5 hours, especially when they are having exam. How many of you here have this, last minute preparation, like tomorrow exam, today I'm gonna start prepare all this thing? Yeah. So once I realize I know their study behavior, then I'll share this. How many of you remember everything that you have did during the revision? I mean, 3 hours revision. Do you remember everything? So most of them say not really, and we will do a simple assessment. I say what I'll do is that I'll read 25 items. All right, I'll read 25 items. Once I've completed reading out 25 items, then they start to write down whatever they can remember. Get it? So we do the test. Now, my 17 years of teaching this or coaching students using a GeniusBrain program, every student are only able to remember the first few items, last few items. That means in the middle, nothing. They can't remember much. So how we do that? Usually, once I completed all 25 items, we give them time to write down. When time's up, I say, how many of you have? I'll read the first 3 items. Everyone raise their hands. They say, I have it. Okay, great. Then I will say the last few items. Everyone raise up their hands. All right. I say, you can see around the room. Everyone raise their hand. So this time I will say, I'll read a few of the items, and only 1 or 2 students will raise up their hand. They have, and sometimes they don't. Then they will see. Not everyone are able to recall whatever items in the middle between the first few and the last few. So this is something that we can confirm to the students. When you do revision, you need to understand there is a formula. So that's the part where we share the brain memory chart, we share the human recall capabilities. Human recall capabilities, oh, I lost the chart. We will share why when you study for 2 hours or 3 hours without taking a break, a lot of items you can't remember. There's a graph we show to the students. All right. In classroom, usually what I have is something like that. I will share a graph something like that. So during the advanced learning study, we have all this in soft copy, and also they will have this worksheet to do. So from this exercise or assessment, they realize that they will be wasting their time if they study straight. I mean, if they do a revision for 2 to 3 hours without taking a break. So in this module, we've demonstrated to them they need to take a break. So all this is actually proven. All right, the maximum numbers of hours or minutes that we can pay attention is only up to 50 minutes. Then we need to take a 5 to 10 minutes break, and then after that we continue for another 50 minutes, and then we need to take a break. So all these are explained in this advanced learning strategy. And ultimately, we have this memory retention review formula. This is also the graph, which they also have. It's in the soft copy and also in the worksheet, and they will understand that for them to able to constantly remember everything for long term. All right. Now this is the story that I shared. If you have gone through my live session, remember a father that called me. Really, he doesn't sound happy at all, because every time he comes back, every time he went home, his son will be watching TV. But what actually his son have applied is this MRRF, memory retention review formula. This is the one. So he actually practiced the part whenever teacher leaves the classroom, he do a review. He do a review again, 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month, 6 months. And that's why he's able to have the information in there that he can use it during his exam. Yeah. So yeah, this is also the part where I share to the parents. Would you like your son to score A? Then I repeat the question again. Would you like your son to score A in exam easily and effectively? So this is one of the key formula for student study, the memory retention review formula. And ultimately, we have this eyes movement method, where I will share to the students how to recall information. Now, this is also one of the technique that we prove to the parents. You may also use this method to share to your parents, all right? This is how you ask. How many of you, not how many of you, have you ever attend an exam, all right? During an exam, you cannot recall the information. But right after the exam, when you walk out the exam hall, everything comes back, and then you start to say, I should have written that, and oh, I should have did that. Do you have that before? Yes. Yes? Great. Yeah. No. And we have did this assessment with the students many times, and it's proven. Yeah, you can do this with parents. The most easiest part, I will ask them to take a pen, all right, and put in front on the table. about slightly 2 to 3 inches away, and ask them to look down and look at the pen or the pencil. All right, look down and tell them that whatever question I ask you later, you don't look up. This is how you can really demonstrate this ice movement method to the parents. So this tell them whatever question I ask you, all right, your eyes have to look down, don't look up. So the simple question that we always use is this: how many windows do you have in your house? Now, what you can do is that you always observe. All right, every parents that gone through this, their eyes just want to look up. They want to look up and record and count the number of videos that they have. Yeah. So this is why we tell students or parents during exam, the challenge is that, in school, teacher would tell the student, don't look left, don't look right, correct? Because they are afraid they copy. Yes, that's true. So what you do is that we share the students, when you read the question in the exam paper, read it, and then you need to look up to record information. So whether look left or right is already covered in the advanced learning strategy. But the information, you look left or right to record the information and all these things, and how to be creative in applying your school subject, especially like if they are doing this karangan. All right, usually when they do karangan, like saya sebuah kereta, all these things, their eyes will need to look at one angle. All right, it's either left or right, and that's where they become more creative on this part. Yeah. So this is the eyes movement method. So far, anyone have questions up to here about this brain recall system? You have any question you want to ask?
You can unmute and ask. Welcome, Rui Tong, then also Regina. Welcome.
Oh, hi. No question. I'll move on.
So Kang Wei.
Yeah. Hi.
So I have a question. How many of these eye tests would you have for parents to test it on their students?
We only use the one that look down.
Okay.
What we want to emphasize is that you cannot record information when our eyes are looking down.
Okay. Will there be an interesting scientific research or backup to prove that in case they ask further?
Oh yes.
There is, right?
It is part of this NLP program. How many of you attended NLP? Neuro-linguistic programming workshop seminars? Yeah, it is part of it. Yes.
Okay.
And yes. In fact, when we have conducted this session, right, I will always do a check with my students, especially for those who have exam. Then I ask them, did you try using the eyes movement method? In short, we call EMM. So I ask them, do you use EMM during exam? Now, for those who really use it, they will tell you that it is now easy for them to recall the answers or information for them to answer in exam. And right after that, they are now consciously able to use their eyes movement to recall information. Yes. I mean, if you were to Google, yeah, it's all there. It's part of this NLP thing. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your question. Good question. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Anything? Any more? No. I'll move on. The second one will be creating a conducive learning environment. Now, how many of you have heard of this? During my class, when we need to engage a lot of questions for them to get engaged for this super learning program. So what I ask is that, how many of you have a place to study at home? Yeah, how many of you have a place to study at home? And I recall there was one student many years ago. He told me his study is on the floor. Yeah, he has been doing that since like primary one. Yes. Mm. And when
on the floor.
yeah, he do revision on the floor, not on the table or a
in the
good
room?
place. No, the living room thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not sure if this is a sad case or whatever it is. But anyway, when I know that, I talked to the parents that every student must find a good place to learn. Because this one also affect their recall capabilities. Yeah. So then right after that, the father actually bought him a study desk. And guess what? The next week he comes to the class, he was so happy. He told me, teacher, I now have a good, have a corner to study. I say, which corner? Is it still on the floor? No, my father bought me a study desk. Yeah, he was so happy. And guess what? He improved his exam after that. Simple thing. I don't know why. Okay. Mr. Adi, if you ask me, is this a scientific proof? This one I can't answer. But it just helped. It just helped. Yeah. So in this creating conducive learning environment, what we share is that you must have a good lighting area, good with lights and stuff like that. Clean room. Clean room. By we added this part is that I always ask, how if you have a room to study, if you have your proper room to study, I said, how many of you actually sweep the floor and mop the floor? You know, when you study, if you're using pencil, when you erase, you have all those eraser stuff laying on the table, and what you do is just push it away and it's on the floor, right? And say, how many of you sweep the floor? Now, guess what? None. They don't sweep, they don't mop. Yeah, but over here, what we guide the students, you need to have a clean place, clean room, all right? So that means after you study, you need to sweep your floor by yourself. And guess what? There was one, I actually added this. How many of you eat in the room? And there are a few students say, I eat in my room, I brought my food in the room. Okay, great. I say, after you eating, what you do? Bring it back to the kitchen and to wash and something. So did you sweep or mop the floor? That they don't. Okay, what I say, what I want you to do is that today you go back. I say, today you go back, check your room. One student, I don't know if this is a joke or what, but one student came back the next week. He told me, teacher, do you remember last week you told me to go back and check my room and clean my room? I said, yes, I did. Did you do that? I said, I did. And what happened? I found a piece of pizza under my bed. You know, a slice of pizza under his bed. I said, oh my God, for how long? And he said, I don't recall. I don't remember. So I said, didn't you smell something? I said, no. Well, okay. Anyway, this is stuff that if you're conducting lessons like this, probably you will heard more. Yeah. Heard more about this amazing stories from some of the students. Now, this after we have gone through this CLE, in short, we call CLE conducive learning environment. We have two parents that came back and asked me, what have you done? Because his child is keep sweeping his room every day. That means he cleans his room every day. He asked me, did I tell my son to go and sweep the room? I say, I did not. I just told them that they need to have a clean room and they need to sweep the floor. And mothers, if you're happy your children clean your room, I'm sure you're very happy that if your children are able to do that, right? So that this mother came back and said, does GeniusBrain teach students to mop the floor and stuff like that? I say, no, I just share that students must have a clean environment so that they are able to study better. Now, not you don't receive a lot of times stories like this, but if there are students who are able to really listen to you, and yep, it helps. Yes. So they are lighting, clean room, arrangement of items, and creating these motivation posters and all these things. Yeah. So in this module, we are covering this part. So for self-learning preparation. Yeah. So this will be a checklist for them to find out should they have group studies. Did they find a place for did they created a conducive learning room for them? You know, all these things is in this module. So it's a checklist for them to write down, and also for them to find out why is it so important to have a conducive learning environment. Student will need to write down on that part. Yeah. So this the third part. So the checklist. The fourth part will be, yes, the self-made motivation posters. And yeah, this is also one of it. They have this a size of this size paper where students will be drawing motivational words or motivational goals for them. So in my class, I always start with this. What would you like to achieve by the end of the year? So for Malaysia, we have a UPSR, for PMR or PT3 right now. We call PT3, and then we have SPM or STPM. So for those who are taking UPSR, that would be a good one, easier for them to do this. That means how many A's you want to achieve in your UPSR, how many A's you want to achieve in your PT3 and stuff like that. So they learn to write, draw this out in the motivation posts. Again, it will be supplied to them for them. Once they completed this one, they will need to put up on the wall. Now, this is also a good self-reminder for students. You know, a lot of times I find it what they call it. I can't recall what the word to use. You know, a lot of times parents love to push their students, what we call remind students to study. You know, the nag thing. Some students need to be nagged. You know, maybe not you. How many have heard your neighbor, you know, shouting to the children, "Have you done your homework? Have you do this?" And then, you know, nag. Yeah, maybe not you, your neighbors. Yeah. Do you realize that if you are able to help your child to think of a goal, it can be straight A's, 6 A's, 5 A's, or something that motivates them. All you have to do is just point to the poster, to the goal that they have drawn. All right, this one you need to allow them to stick onto the wall. So point to that and tell them, what have you done today? Yeah, have you do something for your goal? And ultimately, students, you know, they are aware. They know what to do after that. So this part actually helps parents to reduce the nagging. Yeah. Okay, so far, any questions? So we have all this and nothing. I'll move on. Yeah, this is we call the ESM, effective study method. All right, effective study method. Now, a lot of times students, they know they need to go to school. So when you go to school, what do you need to prepare? Yourself, your mind, you know. That means when you go there, are you there to just play with friends, you know, talk to your friends and some of that. So in this ESM, effective study method, or we call the guide when attending a class, we share all the details, the before class starts, what you need to do, and during the class, what you need to do. So these are the two parts that we covered in this attending class. So most are like prepare your mind and body. We started off with get ready. That means you need to pre-read. All right, pre-read some of the notes or the chapter before the teacher comes in, so that when the teacher starts to teach, you know what she's talking about or what she's talking about. And ultimately, what are the things that you should not do before the class starts, like having a heavy meal, drink coffee, and stuff like that. And why is it so important that we need to attend the class? That means the attendance. So being there is like learning something new. We also share the part like even though you don't like the teacher, but having said that, there are more important stuff that we need to learn. So we need to make it more interesting rather than waiting for the teacher to be to do something interesting for you lah. This are the part, and also how to sit, where to sit, and why. I hope it is still relevant after the lockdown or the MCO, because yeah, we wanted the students, if they're going back to the classroom again, ensure that they sit in front of the first three row. Yes, I also share that unless you are the tallest person in the classroom, that one usually you have no choice, you sit at the back. Yeah. Pay attention, and of course make notes lah. Yeah, this is the guide when attending class, or effective study method. Okay, so far any question you want to ask? All good? Because all your videos are off, so I can't see your face reaction. Yeah. Okay. The sixth one will be inspiring methods to handle examination. Yeah. So we will talk about examination techniques. That means what is examination? All right. Do you have pressure going for examination? Are you aware the timetable and stuff like that? And what you need to prepare, and during exam, what you need to do. So all this will be here. We covered over here. We have this the part of reducing examination stress. Yeah. Exam technique. Yes. Oh, good. Then the seventh one will be this is one of the a children favorite module, because we teach them how to do some brain calm exercise. Yeah. And then we follow by mandalas exercise. How many of you here have heard of mandala exercise? If yes, you can put up a good thumbs up. I heard of that. I did that. If no, then you don't do anything. Okay, mandala exercise. Okay, for this one, we do share with the students. It's about coloring, and we only recommend color pencils. Okay, we don't recommend pencils. And one thing is in this module we share to the students that this is not an art competition. All right, not an art competition, meaning that we do not want them to finish the whole paper with one color within 1 minute. No. So mandala exercise, that there are a lot of small blocks different. So I want I share in the advanced learning strategy is that you need to enjoy the coloring so that it helps you to relax. Now, if you really, not really, if you have Google mandala exercise, then you will have a lot sample sheets for you to print and do coloring. So I would strongly advise you to try that. All right. Now use only color pencils. Okay. I strongly advise you to try that. Now why? Because as I also shared, Dr. Thomas Hooi and myself, we conducted one corporate training for a company with about 30 of them. All right. Yeah. Oh, Jesse is showing that. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Jesse, show that if you're looking at the screen. Yeah. We were doing this mandala exercise for them. Now these are adults. Yeah. This yeah, at least they're at least 25 years and above. So this session, initially we wanted to have it like 15 to 30 minutes. Then we need to move on to another activities. And what happens is that when we introduce this to them, and everyone, literally everyone, just want to do that. They don't want to stop. Yeah. So they said it's very relaxing doing the mandala exercise. Yeah, I also urge you all to try this, and for you to try that, I'm sure you're able to share to the parents. Why is it so important for students to have a proper relaxation technique? Yeah. What I meant proper relaxation techniques is this, you know, sometimes some students, when they are doing revision after 1 to 3 hours, what do? They take the handphone and start doing something, and they tell you they want to relax. I always share to the students that is not relaxation. Okay. So a good relaxation will be using something like that. Okay, all good. All good, because we have four more modules to cover. Thank you so much. All right. So the next one will be time management. Yeah. Now, especially now, students do not need to go back to school. So what happens? They stay at home. And now, if they are supposed to go back to school Monday to Friday, if they're supposed to go back to school, what do they have? They have a school timetable, right? But at home, they don't have a school timetable, right? So over here is that over here, this module, what I shared to the students, that they need to create their own timetable at home. That means what they will be doing when they come back from school, and especially like Saturday and Sunday. Now more than ever, if they are at home using Zoom learning and all these things, they should have this so-called timetable at home. Yeah, now more than ever. Today they need to create their own. That means every Monday they wake up. What is the subject they need to do revision or review, or if they have a Zoom learning, so they need to ensure that the time for Zoom and is followed. So we have a monthly planner, weekly planner, and daily planner for them. And we have this something we call a contract, study contract. Now, a lot of times students say that they want to improve, but is there an accountability? Okay, so in the study contract, in my class, what I do is that I'll get them to write down. That means every day how many hours they need to spend to do revision, for how long. So usually it's like 30 days, a month thing. So they need to study, like they choose to study 2 hours a day, so to ensure that they study 2 hours a day for the next 30 days. If they are able to do that, they will celebrate with the buddy. So the buddy here is the father or the mother. Now, in my classroom, usually what I do is that I will ask the student, hey, who do you afraid most, your father or your mother? If they say mother, okay, good. The next one, move on, father, check with them. So this one you need to able to remember, because why? Once they've written all this, I say, now you go and give it to your mother to sign. You give it to your father to sign. You know, someone they are more afraid of. So when they go back and give the mother to sign and all this thing, of course there are follow-up part. You need to call the parents to find out if they have signed all these things. Now, you see, this is what I call the accountability. They need to learn about accountability. The study contract is about this. And for them to achieve a certain of habit, I'm sure you have read, it takes about 20 days to 25 days to achieve a kind of habit. So a good one would be like 30 days for them to do that. So if they're able to do that, then they celebrate. Whatever celebration, it depends on their parents. Now, what if they can't achieve? That means they miss out a day, did not do the 2 hours revision. So in my class, I always share that you need to reduce the money, your pocket money to school. So if you're taking 5 ringgit to school, then if you cannot achieve this, you cannot do this, you take 2 ringgit and 50 cents. You cut half of your pocket money. So make sure that write this and ensure that the study contract, the buddy will be able to help them to get this outlaw. So it's more like ensuring that they do at least 2 hours revision a day. This is effective time measurement. Yeah. Question? All of you are there, huh? Thank you so much. All right. So moving on forward will be this powerful notes taking and notes making. Yeah. Again, I find this is also very, very important, especially if they're doing Zoom. They need to learn how to make notes, take notes effectively. So we have shared the 3 types of notes making. One will be imaginary map, linear notes, and last one is a vertical notes. So we share these 3 to them. Yeah, and we are not limiting. If you like imaginary map, you only use imaginary map. If you like linear notes, you only use linear notes. No, we actually share to them. You can actually combine 3 in your own notes making, because notes making is all about you. You yourself is the one reading it. Yeah. So whatever way or whatever method that you use to create your own notes, at the end of the day, you need to be the one who's able to read. So if you create a lot of notes and at the end of the session, you don't even know how to read your own handwritings, then that is not a good effective notes making. All right. So it's sharing with them the technique, using different colors and stuff there. Yes, it's all this in the notes taking and notes making. So we do share the difference between taking and making, and why is it so important to have this. Yeah. And then we move on to the anchoring method. Yeah. So anchoring method is the part where we help the students to change the mind from the state into a motivating state of learning. So sometimes when some students, they get back home, they are not feeling motivated and all this thing, but ultimately they still need to do revision. So this anchoring method will be the one that helps them to change from the negative state to a positive state. Yeah, anchoring method. So it's all here. And last one will be relaxation method for study. Yeah, this is one very important. If you understand the left right brain, yeah, we actually need certain we take it music, all right, some music, especially music for them to study, to help them to take over the right side of the brain. You know, a lot of times is that a class without music, because I really did experiment. Yeah, those early days I have different classes running GeniusBrain. I have a class, a normal one, that means nothing, no music, okay. And I have in a classroom with music on. I'm actually using music recommended by GeniusBrain. So each time when I run GeniusBrain, I ensure this guy switch on the music, and the other one, nothing. You can really see a difference. Yes, the one with music, the part where they actually learns is kind of easier. For the classroom without music, yeah, you tend to have to always uh, take create attention for them to take note on what you are going to teach. Yeah, so there's really a difference. So I always encourage parents to buy certain music, play the background. So when they do revision, they have some music at the background to help them to be more focused. Yeah. Okay, so this is the last part that I've covered. If how many of you here have any questions that you want to ask?
I just wanted to ask about the music part. Do you encourage, like, for example, 432 hertz type of music, or is there
Baroque music?
As in music with certain frequencies, like 432 hertz, or a certain genre that you recommend?
We do have experienced a few. Dr. Thomas, what was the one that we need to use the earpiece one?
Okay. If you are talking about the CD, right? I think you are talking about the 3-4 hertz. You are talking about the theta level, right?
Yeah.
We are talking about that level. So if let's say you talk about the brain waves, is something which is very much different. Okay, because our music is not based on brain waves. Because brain waves, if let's say we use the old technology, then they must be using the earphone left and right. They have a different frequency to produce the hertz they want. But for this, just for the information, the best is theta. Theta is a time when we just wake up in the morning or just before we sleep. Actually, that will be the best time for anyone to study. Just wake up and before you sleep. But because the mind it works that way, it's very hard for us to control it, right? Every time before sleep, study, then wake up, study. Then what happens if, let's say, in the other time we want to study? Actually, many years ago, we produced theta audio CDs. That is the left and right. Then we produce different type of frequency. But what we are talking about here, which is a part of the learning music, it's not a music actually. It's an environment sound. Because the best sound for a human to study, right, is the water sound and then also the natural sound. So that's the audio which they can download and they listen in their phone when they study. So they just download the thing. So we included inside. That is our in-house productions. Is our own copyright things. So it's just they listen to it, then they study on their own. Okay, we have no brainwaves inside. It's a very natural sound, environment sound, the water sound. It's just like they feel they are in a very what do you call it, a very calm environment. So that's when they study in their room, then they have you create a conducive learning environments for them to study, right? So it has nothing to do with brainwaves. If we talk about studying, of course, the best, we have two types. One is Mozart music. Mozart is the more high frequency. I think you know about that, Mozart. But the best is not Mozart. Mozart is to energize the brain, but the best music is still Baroque. Baroque is a genre. There's a type of music because of the instrument they use. Okay, so that it will calm the brain, and then the heart rate is according to the human heart. Which when they listen to the classical music, they study, then they feel very comfortable. So that's the different type of music for the student to study. They can buy it in a music store for that type of music, but I don't think so. The youngster would like this type of music. not to talk about youngster, the old people.
Initially they don't like, but after going. Just to share with you. Initially when the student comes in, some of them they don't like the music, but after going through a few months, they will tell the parents to buy that CD. They want that. Yes. Yeah, I'll just share. It takes some repetition. Yeah, I well experience I have seen. Um, we may have some students they didn't improve at all. That means academically they still score C. All right. But we do have these parents that comes in. They say, I want my son to continue this. I don't see improvement in the academic, but what they see is that there's something change. You know, they they become more self-independent when it comes to learning. Hmm. So yes, we do have this in GeniusBrain. There is also one of the main reason. 17 years, I'm still using GeniusBrain to conduct programs to help students to become better learner. I think we Dr. Hooi and his R&D team have improved, constantly improved. Yeah.
Thank you. It sounds like a very holistic way of learning and absorbing information into the human brain as a student. So very impressive. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so any more questions? Because the main purpose of this session is for us when we want to tell the parents about the course itself, all right? Because most of us will sign up for the e-course consultants. So when we talk to parents, some parents might not know what the course is all about. So we need to explain to them. That's why we are not just ask people to buy without knowing what the benefit the students will gain. So through this talk together, to have a better understanding of the whole course, the advanced learning strategies, we put it online, and then you'll be able to let the parents know what the student will be learning and what they'll be able to achieve. So if let's say you think as a parent, if let's say I subscribe my child to this course, then what will be the benefits? As what Mr. Chin mentioned, all the benefits which they'll be going through, then whether it's worth it, then they need to make a judgment. Because the course, they only need, this is not a tuition. Students only learn one time. It's a learning foundation and it's basics, the main important things, but that's not taught in school anywhere in the world directly. Okay, because each countries they have a different type of syllabus, so they're more focused on the curriculums itself. So the lack of the learning foundation to help students. That's where it comes in. And the previous one, we need students to go to the center, and the latest, the previous one and the latest one is now the school goes to them. They just sign up, subscribe to the system, then they'll be able to learn whatever we'll be teaching them. And after so many years of experience, I do believe that Mr. Chin is the right person to share this with us. Okay, so he has all the experience needed, and the way he guides students has proven to be effective. And I take this chance to thank you for being together with us for so many years. Imagine 17 years.
Yeah.
We are still very young at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I can also share the first year when we sign up this GeniusBrain program. Literally, I mean, you know, a lot of parents still prefer tuition. Tuition, you know, there's the most they call it effective way to see result. You don't, if this tuition center isn't giving result change. I'm sure you heard that, right? Yeah. We took quite some time to share with the parents. Today, it's so easy right now. Asking some parents about super learning, accelerated learning. I think 8 out of 10 parents would have heard of this. Yeah.